Gosh, this is cooling me off. Let's get some plumping action going with my Dior Lip Maximizer. To be extra, I'm gonna put on this Juicy Tube by Lancome Magic Spell. Hi beauties, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to try out the new Morphe Filter Effect Soft Focus Foundation. I picked up the shade Filter Rich 27, so we're going to find out together whether this is the right shade match for me. I also have a few other Morphe products that I'm going to try out, so if you'd like to find out more, then just keep watching. Today is also a marathon. I have a lot of videos planned for today, so let's see how I do. So it says here that this is a medium to full coverage foundation. The reason I chose the Rich 27 shade was in store, it said that it was a rich neutral. On Ulta's website, this shade is described as rich with neutral undertones. And I typically wear neutral foundation, and sometimes I will wear golden or warm. It says the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Focus Foundation is an oil-free, skincare-infused foundation that delivers a natural finish for healthy-looking skin. I purchased this foundation because I watched Makeup Shayla's video on this foundation. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I absolutely loved how her skin looked after she completed her makeup wearing this foundation, and I just had to have it, and it's at a perfect price point. It's $20. That's super affordable. I had to have it. It says this Luxe long wearing formula is designed to blur and diffuse the look of imperfections while deeply hydrating and nourishing skin. Crafted in Italy for the ultimate soft focus filter effect look and powered by high-performing skin-perfecting ingredients. The silky smooth medium to full coverage is buildable and developed across 40 shades for a range of skin tones and undertones. Plus, it's made to keep up with you thanks to sweat-proof, transfer-proof, and waterproof performance that lasts 12 hours. It's the best filter you'll ever use. This sounds like the foundation of my dreams. Key features are hyaluronic acid boosts moisture levels, and vitamin E delivers antioxidant protection. Pore blurring pigments diffuse the look of imperfections. Natural buildable coverage, long wearing, sweat proof and transfer proof, free of oils, fragrances and parabens. Luxe formula crafted in Italy. And it has a lot of other information here. Right now at Ulta, when you purchase this foundation, you receive a free E63 foundation brush with Morphe Filter Effect foundation, offer valid 1/31/21 through March 6th, 21, or while quantities last. So I did receive this foundation brush with my purchase, which was nice. This has 0.94 fluid ounces, so you don't get a full ounce, but that's close enough. It's in a frosted glass bottle. One of the reasons I'm not sure about the shade match is because of COVID, you couldn't test this shade. So I'm going to test it in a second. We'll see how I did. I couldn't remember Shayla's shade when I was in store, and she was shade 26, and she's a little deeper than me, and this is 27. This one's neutral, and that one maybe had golden or warm undertones, so I'm hoping that this is still my shade. So we'll see. I'm going to use a little bit of primer water from Smashbox. So we're going to apply this NYX, the Marshmallow Primer. Just going to take a little bit here. Ooh. So now I have my primer on. So let's see what the foundation looks like. Shake it up. Okay, come on, pump. Wow, that's a little bit deep for me. When I was purchasing this, I was looking at like a couple of shades lighter, but because of the frosted, I just couldn't tell. But anyway, let's see, guys. We're gonna go in with this. Maybe it'll be okay once I blend it out. That's amazing how deep that is on me though. I'm gonna take the brush here and I'm going to apply one side with this brush, and I may end up needing another brush, but we'll start with this one. This is definitely deeper and more orange than what I'm accustomed to in my foundation, but we'll see. It still might work. And I definitely think, since we are in spring right now, and wait a minute, we're still in winter. Whoa, 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 whoa. I definitely think because now it's February that this will work in summer months for me for sure. And we are getting ready to approach spring. Okay. Well, I might not need any other brushes. This is pretty good. Definitely different. This is more of that type of foundation brush where I would apply it in the motion that I'm applying it right now, like downward, versus buffing it in. But it certainly has applied it pretty well. On my left side, I'm going to use the Marshmallow Blender. It is a new sponge by NYX. Oh. I was not sure how this shape was going to work, being like flat, but wow. That's not bad, guys. Oh my goodness. I didn't know what to expect. I think that kind of sped up the application a little bit, having a round, flat surface. It's easy to grip. Not bad. This is not so bad, guys. This is a pretty good match. However, as I said, it's a little deeper than what I'm accustomed to, but once I apply concealer, I think that we will be fine. Let's take a good look at the foundation itself here. This is definitely a foundation that looks like skin, but I feel like I need more, and I already had probably a pump and a half. You know, with that first pump, you get, you know, a little bit more, but I do want to go in with a little bit more right here, my forehead, and some of the places where I have hyperpigmentation. Is definitely more of a medium coverage right now, but I think it might be able to build up, so let's see. Also, I don't see a huge difference between the different tools that I use to apply. The brush worked beautifully, and so did the sponge. So let's go in with a little bit more. I'm just gonna do one pump, and let's use the brush. I feel like I need to do a little bit more here. And the sponge may have sheared it out a little bit more. And I'm gonna put the rest here on my forehead. Wow. Oh gosh. Wow. Interesting. I'm really glad that I got the brush with this. I'm glad I got it at a time when this deal was there, because I don't have a brush like this. Now, as I've applied more, of course, it's looking deeper. I think once I put on powder, that will be okay. So now I'm gonna go back over everything with my sponge and just make sure that we're blended out well. So this is what we look like with just the foundation. And I definitely would call this a medium coverage foundation. It's not full coverage, and it is more like skin. I also picked up a concealer by Morphe, and this is C3.25. This was the only shade that they had that I thought would work for me. Everything else was much lighter or much deeper. So I think that we're okay with this. This is Fluidity Full Coverage Concealer, and it is a soft matte concealer. So I just thought this would be a good time to try this as well. So here we go. I'm gonna need it because the foundation is a little bit darker. I'm gonna try to cover up this little pimple I have. So we're gonna go back in with the marshmallow sponge here and blend that out. That's helping in the places where I didn't get the full coverage that I like. Definitely full coverage concealer. I probably could have used less, but we're gonna spread it out. I'm gonna take it over my eyes because I have darker eyelids. I'm liking the concealer. I like the shade of the concealer, and right now I'm liking how it's looking under my eyes. I like the coverage it's giving me. Yeah, this is good. I also picked up the Morphe Bake and Set setting powder, and I picked up the banana shade. Shayla wore this in her video too. It looked really pretty, and I was like, ooh, why haven't I tried this? I haven't been to Ulta much. That's probably why. I was happy to see her use this. I thought it looked really pretty and was promising. So we're gonna pop a little bit in the cap here. It's a nice yellow color. I'm gonna grab my nice dirty Wayne Goss brush. Here we go. And let's make sure that we are ready here. The one good thing is I didn't feel like I needed to go in a second time with the concealer. And a lot of times with concealers, I end up having to dip in a second time. And this one worked well first go around. So I'm happy about that. So here we go. And this is the Wayne Goss, the airbrush brush that I love for powder under the eye. I don't know, I like it. Ever since I got this brush, this is what I use 90% of the time to apply. I actually need a second one. I use this most of the time to apply powder. This is like my favorite brush. It's a blue squirrel-haired brush that I would consider to be fairly affordable because I think it's like maybe $36. It's in the 30 something dollar range, and I think that's affordable for a natural fiber brush. I'm gonna just use my Huda powder for the rest of my face because this is banana bread. It looks more translucent than it does banana, so I'd rather have more of a translucent on the rest of my face. So let's put a little bit of that. I'm a powder person. Some people might not set their foundation with powder, but I do. I usually use something else to put the powder on the rest of my face, but we're just gonna go with this for right now. I was nervous that the shade was gonna be too dark because you guys know I typically like go a little lighter. I like going a little bit lighter and then like bronzing and contouring. I just like deepening light foundation versus trying to figure out how to lighten dark foundation. But right now I'm liking this so far. I mean, how can I tell right now? I'm gonna sculpt my brows really quickly and then I'll be right back. They're just brow cousins, not twins. I'm gonna use my beautiful Year of the Ox brush. I'm gonna use this to kind of dust off the powder so we can see what the foundation looks like. The powder seems to have mattified it a little bit. Trying to see if I'm seeing like dry patches right here though, but anyway, this is quite skin-like and very pretty. Of course, I'm a little bit lighter because I have on powder and concealer, but we're gonna bronze and we're gonna fix all of that. But right now, this definitely doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It feels very lightweight. It is a natural finish. I still say it's more like medium coverage. It was more of a runny consistency, is kind of medium coverage, but maybe it could build up to full coverage. But if you've got to put more than 2 pumps of foundation on to get to full coverage, then to me, you might as well purchase a full coverage foundation where you can get full coverage in like 1 pump. I like it so far. I'm interested to see how we're gonna look at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and complete the rest of my look off camera and then I'll be right back to talk about it. I did apply the Flawless Filter setting spray at the end. Also, this is a Sephora t-shirt that I have on that I had when I was an employee at Sephora. And here I am reviewing all these products that came from Ulta. This is what we look like. So let's talk about it. My first impressions are good. I'm very happy that the color ended up working for me. Initially, when I was applying it, I felt like it was a little bit deep for me. If you are my complexion, you may want to go lighter to either 26 or 25, maybe. This works. I will probably keep this because I know that I'm going to get darker. This is definitely my palest right now. It is a little bit deep for me, I think. But you guys let me know in the comments because you're watching. You may say, nah, this was right. I do like how everything looked. I loved how the concealer turned out. It did a pretty good job of covering my dark circles without me having to apply a ton of it. I did put a generous amount on initially. But back to the foundation, I just wanted to mention the concealer since I did apply quite a bit of it and it kind of helped balance out the shade. So I did want to mention it. And the powder I thought was amazing as well. I think it is a really stunning foundation, especially given the price point. I do like that it looks more like skin. Like I did, you know, create a full glam makeup look, but overall I can tell that this is a very skin-like foundation. It is very lightweight on my skin. Again, it is medium coverage. It says medium to full, but you would have to apply a lot more in order to really build it up to full coverage. Like I have a spot here that didn't get covered and some hyperpigmentation that did not get covered. Even once I applied the concealer, it's kind of still peeping through. So I wouldn't consider it to be full coverage. It's definitely more like medium. If I had put like 4 or 5 pumps of this, maybe I could have gotten to full coverage. But after 2 pumps, I don't want to keep applying foundation. It's more like 2.5 pumps because I had to pump so much in the beginning to get it to first come out. So I would say about 2.5 pumps on my face right now, and I have about medium coverage. I don't think that it looks matte, and I don't think it looks dewy. It is definitely a natural finish, so I like it. Definitely, I think that the packaging is nice. I don't think I mentioned that, you know, it has a pump. You could see that. There are 40 shades with various undertones, so it seems to be a foundation that would be available to many of us. So I do like that. It's very inclusive, and this would be a very good like everyday foundation. I think it is competitive with high-end foundation. So if you want a high-end look, and you try something like this, I think you would be satisfied. If you were trying to look a little bit more high-end than drugstore, but not spend, you know, $50 for your foundation, this $20 option would be very good. It seems to have paired really well with all of the other products on my face. The powder, very promising. I really enjoyed that. I think this is quite beautiful. Overall, I'm pleased with it. It is a good first impression. I'd like to wear it more to see, is it going to become a favorite? Be sure to check the description box as well as the comments because I may pin a comment. You guys be the judge and let me know in the comments down below what you think of this foundation. I certainly give it my stamp of approval as far as my first impressions. I'm very proud of Shayla. I'm always proud of her and her accomplishments. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I definitely want to support her with this campaign. Feel free to dive on in if you want to support her as well. If you have tried this foundation, be sure to comment down below, and especially I'd love to know if you're like my complexion, what shade did you end up trying? If you're using me for a shade reference, this will work, but you probably could go 1 shade or 2 shades lighter as well. So that's the video. So thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will respond. And if you've not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button before you leave. So I'll be seeing you guys again very soon in my next video. So until the next time we meet again, this is Savvy, signing out.